Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to tell you what you need to know about real witches.
And Chris has a question. He wants to know what his spirit guides are trying to tell him.
And a quick look with a different drum. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Cindy Grayson.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we showcase the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
And here we share tools and insights to help you with questions that are beyond the ordinary.
Cindy is a certified hypnotherapist with a specialty in past life regression. She also works with spirit guides and white light entities as a medical intuitive.
Joseph is an award-winning psychic for 25 years. He's also the author of the international bestseller, The Quest Tarot. Joseph is a recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
You know, one of the things I just love about this topic is because there are so many misconceptions about what real witches are. And even I had misconceptions. I was raised Catholic. I went to church. I made things difficult for people of different beliefs like this for a time when I was very young, because I had the same misconceptions that everyone did from movie and TVs and books. And it wasn't until I met some people who were pagans and Wiccans and real witches that I realized how beautiful and sincere these people were and how healing they were in the way they did their magic and their craft and what they were actually trying to achieve.
Oh, same thing. I was raised Baptist, and it was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? I've never met one before. When you get past the fears, and when you ask yourself, where did those fears come from? Then you find out, you dig away at the man-made rules, and you find out what the truth is.
Just like Glenda, the good witch from The Wizard of Oz, you may be asking, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And maybe more importantly, you may ask, what do I need to know about real witches? Real witches have very little in common with their broom-riding depictions in modern literature or Halloween caricature. And contrary to popular belief, a male witch is not called a wizard or a warlock, but is simply called a witch. It's risky for any single individual to try and speak for a whole group, especially a group as varied and diverse as modern witches. But I'll give it a try. Witches are not evil. Part of the witch's code is that the use of magic should never create an advantage at the expense of another person or violate the free will of another person. In fact, most of their magical incantations contain the phrase, "and harm to none," or "with harm to none." Modern witches believe in something they call the threefold law, which states that whatever you do will come back to you 3 times over. This goes for both good deeds and bad deeds. So you can see there is a high motivation to only do good magic. Think of the threefold law as magic karma. In ancient times, witches were doctors or scientists employing natural remedies to help others. This competition with their professional counterparts was one of the reasons why they were hunted down and killed. Witchcraft has nothing to do with the devil. Witchcraft began long before the Christian notion of a devil even existed. This misunderstanding about witches worshiping the devil comes as a result of the early Christian church's need to condemn anyone that didn't believe as they did by assuming an association with evil. I repeat, witches are not devil worshippers. They don't even believe such a being exists. Witchcraft isn't a religion. It's a personal practice involving a lot of study, but witches do follow a nature-based religion called paganism. Pagans and witches believe the Mother Earth and nature are sacred. In fact, the pagan religion shares many similarities with different Native American religions. Witches don't believe in a God of the Christian and the Jews. Instead, witches worship a god and goddess pair, although most focus mainly on the goddess. Witchcraft is the study of magic. While pagans will learn only enough magic to aid them in their ritual practices, witches dedicate themselves to the study of the craft. A witch's magic is a manipulation of energy through physical and mental means to create a change in physical reality. Most people today believe that like attracts like. They just don't know that this is known to witches as the law of similarity, a key law of magic. Magic is used for the things that can't be influenced on the physical plane alone, though every effort should be made in the physical plane first. A witch combines the knowledge of planetary and other influences with the energies of colors, herbs, and stones, and enhances these with the vibratory power of carefully crafted incantations. All of this is controlled by a practiced mental focus and understanding of the laws that govern magic. Some will specialize in one area, favoring crystals or candles or herbs, but will learn all of the different areas. True witches study and practice the science of their craft, and they keep a record of their work in a special book. You can see witches are not people to be feared. A witch doesn't look scary and is not evil. A witch is simply a person who chooses to study an age-old type of science and practice a nature-based healing religion that has been in existence for thousands of years.
Underneath, and that they're very similar to how I was raised.
Very similar. A matter of fact, they have a lot of ethics in their practice.
Absolutely.
You know, witches really want to do good, and they do not do bad. You know, just like in any profession, you have some people that are always bad, and they make a bad name for others who are actually doing good. But the witches that I know are beautiful men and women who do healing acts for their friends and others.
How did you acquire your current beliefs regarding witches? Chances are that your beliefs are based in a fearful message and images from family, religion, organizations, and Hollywood. Many churches have convinced people that witches are the devil's servants. In reality, witches serve and honor Mother and Father God. There are no dark entities involved with true witches. Witches believe that whatever intention they send out will come back on them threefold, whether it's in 5 minutes or 30 years. Methods used to send those intentions are through the use of spells, candles, rituals, crystals, herbs, just to name a few. Spells are a common way of sending intent, which is simply another form of prayer. It's believed that by creating chants of intent that the rhyme itself strengthens the desired goal. Think about it. If a person spends time in meaningful thought to create a rhyming chant, it's equivalent to praying for that entire time, creating what it is that you are desiring. Witches are grounded in the 4 elements of fire, air, water, and earth. The symbol most associated with witches is the pentagram, which is a 5-pointed star often displayed inside of a circle. This symbol represents the 4 elements along with the point upwards towards spirit. It's true that occult groups have turned the pentagram upside down, creating a goat's head image. And others have called that upside down star the symbol of Satanism or evil. Unfortunately, Hollywood and religious organizations have perpetuated and popularized the occult version of that symbol and of witches. Think about it. How often has Hollywood accurately portrayed witches? The movie Practical Magic portrayed witches in mostly a positive light, although there was a bit of dark magic woven into the storyline. And why are people so afraid to learn about witches? One primary reason is that people are afraid that because they feel that they have lived prior lives where they were put to death because they were accused of being one. Every person has what is called cell memory, and cell memory is a result of our soul merging with a new human body. Each cell is then infused with all the memories of that soul. Many memories remain dormant until something triggers it. As a matter of basic instinct, our bodies tend to panic or reject the concept of witches or witchcraft because of these cell memories. We've actually died from this in past lives. The Christian Crusades and Spanish Inquisition demonized witches, healers, psychics, and others. One of the primary goals of the Crusades and Inquisition was to instill fear in every person while offering them the alternative of being safe and protected through the church. And they meant business. Those rulers were more than willing to kill anyone accused of being a witch, and they did. That fear was so strong that it remains within ourselves to this day. It would literally cost a person their life if they were accused of practicing such evil. Our bodies automatically go into survival mode of, oh no, I don't want to be killed again. What we hold in the feelings of unjustly beliefs of previous lives, we never lose.
You know, a while ago, I hit a very difficult spot after a family member actually passed on. And I felt very vulnerable. And the first thing I noticed was in traffic, cars kept almost hitting me. And it was really kind of terrifying. Because I felt weak because of the emotional loss, I asked my witch friends if they could do a bubble of protection around me and help me. They did that night, and the next morning, literally, everything changed. I was safe again when I was driving.
Oh, it's fantastic. In fact, I used something very similar to what the witches use with the white light. In fact, I just did it on an airplane last Friday. The gentleman sitting next to me was being really rude to his son, and it was almost intolerable to me, and there was no other place to move. And so I thought, practice what you preach. I wrapped him in white light. I wrapped the son in white light. I wrapped myself in white light because I really wanted to slap him, but I couldn't. And I put a shield between us, and instantly his energy went from negative to positive with his son, and I thought, wow, the universe really answers all of our needs.
Witches are pagans, but not all pagans are witches. Sounds confusing? Well, think of it this way. All surgeons are doctors, but not all doctors are surgeons. Does that make sense? So since witches are pagans, what is a pagan? Well, before there were Christians, there were pagans. During the BC years, different civilizations had gods by many different names with multiple gods in each group or pantheon. Most of you are familiar with the Roman, Egyptian, or Norse gods from the many stories that remain about them. Hindus have a pantheon of multiple deities that they still worship today. A lot of the practices associated with modern witches are actually just a part of the rituals of their pagan religion. Like different denominations of a Christian religion, there are different pagan groups called traditions with their own specific beliefs and practices. For example, some pagans may call themselves Wiccans, which is considered to be synonymous with witch. This can cause a lot of confusion. A Wiccan may not be a witch at all, but many witches do not belong to the traditions that use the term Wiccan. Unfortunately, Wiccans aren't safe, or it's not a safe go-to term that people want to be. Just like with Christian groups, pagan groups are more alike than they are different. Modern pagans generally like to mix and draw from multiple pantheons of deities and practices of different ancient cultures.
Immediately, if we just ask.
It answers our needs in a very direct way. You know, the pentagram, which is often seen in movies as an evil symbol, is actually a symbol of healing and protection when face up. And so witches will use this symbol as a way to create harmony and balance and protection for themselves. It's actually not an evil symbol, even though movies love to portray that icon as something bad.
Well, and the occult has flipped it upside down and made it a goat's head that symbolizes Satanism. And it's not. And let's face it, symbols just give us more intent and reinforcement with our beliefs. Because a cross, really, it's a piece of metal usually, but it's our belief in what it represents that makes all the difference. And the pentagram is nothing more than bringing all nature and spirit together in one.
Magic.
Let's take a moment to focus on how witches and witchcraft are similar to so many world religions. Witches believe in Mother God and Father God. Most world religions believe in Father God, and some believe in a Mother God. Witches believe in the golden rule, do unto others as you want done to you. Remember, witches believe that intentions that are sent out are going to come back on them threefold. And most world religions believe in the golden rule as well. Witches practice sending healing energy to a specific person or a specific situation. This is often accomplished with well-developed chants. Most world religions send healing energy to a specific person or specific situation. They call it prayer. Witches believe in the power of additional people sending intent to strengthen the power of healing. Most world religions also believe in the power of additional people when gathering for specific purpose of healing prayers by strengthening the prayers in chains. Witches believe in lighting candles to strengthen their intentions. Many world religions also practice the lighting of candles. Witches use a pentagram symbol to remind them of spirit and the 4 elements. Most world religions have a symbol to remind them of their spiritual leader. Witches use specific herbs to help someone heal. Most world religions believe in medicine, which is based in herbs, as a source of healing. And ironically, witches are opposed to dark energies and dark entities. Most world religions are opposed to dark energies and dark entities. So you see, there are many parallels between the practice of witchcraft and major religious practices.
It is the coordination belief of magical intent, energetic intent, mental intent, passionate intent, whatever you want to call it. It's our energy affecting reality. Now, in other kind of religions or doctrines, they might call that prayer, because prayer has a huge intent, and in studies, prayer has been shown to affect the healing rates of those sick in a very, very positive way.
Well, and what I tell my Christian friends when they are concerned about this is that a rose by any other name,
it's still a rose.
That's right. Whether you call it intent, prayer, whatever you want to call it, spells. It's the same thing. It's intentional energy using spirit and other outside forces to send good to someone.
Absolutely. Those affirmations are, we call them affirmations because that's a very popular accepted term. But a witch might call the exact same thing a spell, which has a whole negative connotation to it.
It does.
So, you know, change a word, change a feeling. Call it by what it is, a positive intention to create a difference in reality, to affect others in a beautiful way.
It is. It's just wonderful. And now we're going to go visit a different drum.
I'm here with Don Schultz and the different drum. Now, what's amazing about these drums is that every single one is handmade and unique. Can you tell us about what got you into making these amazing drums?
Well, actually, I went to a book signing with a lady that actually carries a mother drum around the country doing festivals and rallies. And we played for about an hour and a half, and after all was said and done, I decided it was time to start making them.
Now, I looked at these, and they're like dream catchers. They're like woven and almost, they're so amazing. How on earth do you make a drum like this?
Well, the first thing you do is you listen to a little voice in the back of your head that says, do this. And from there, it's just a matter of going with what feels good. My standard pattern, which is this one right here, is really a matter of just function meeting form.
Okay.
It tensions the drum naturally. It creates something that's very, very bulletproof. They don't break, and it's a very comfortable drum to hold on to. So
now I noticed that how tightly and this is leathers, right?
Yeah, this is actually rawhide.
Rawhide is strung on these. Now, do you have to do this like in a wet form?
Yes, yes. You actually take the entire hide, and I soak it for anywhere from a couple hours to a couple of days, depending on how heavy the hide is. Mm-hmm. And from there, it's lay it out, figure out where I'm going to get the various parts from, and start cutting. You get out there with a pair of scissors, and I mean, like this one right behind me here has 100 feet of lace in it. So.
And there are no cows that are 100 feet long.
No, there aren't. So what you do is when you get the heads cut out, you're literally cutting around all the remaining bits and pieces of scrap.
Wow.
And when I'm done with that, when I've got little itty bitty pieces of scrap left over, those either become my little rattles down here or amazingly enough dog chews.
Now, when people buy these drums, now how do they use them?
All over the place. It's my number one client is actually first-time drummers.
Okay.
And for them, it's a starter drum because not necessarily they're looking for a particular sound or a particular type, but just because it feels good. And that's the real, what I've been going for, is you're looking for something that's more from the heart than from the head. And then I've got the practitioners that use them for healing work and people that use them for concert play. So they kind of get all over.
Well, that's interesting. So when someone uses a drum for healing work, how does that work exactly?
Well, the body naturally tunes into vibrations. You know, people that do things with crystals, people that do things with singing bowls, didgeridoos. The drum is the oldest, other than the human voice, really the oldest physical vibration instrument there is. And so you can use it in a couple of different ways. Like if you take a look, I've got this great big drum over a bed behind us, and that drum actually puts out so much sound that your body tunes into it and it tells it what it wants to do.
Well, I will agree with you. I have felt the drum vibrations myself, and you don't even have to be that close. They really resonate with you. So when people want to find the different drum because they would love to have one of these beautiful handmade gorgeous drums, how can they find you?
They can find me a couple of different ways. The number one is on the internet, thedifferentdrum.net, and of course I bounce around getting back into the economic problems, getting back into the stroke of things. I'll be bouncing around from festival to festival over the course of the next few months. Obviously, we're here at the Nevada City Psychic Fair right now, so come on down to the fair, and if you see this while we're still here. Otherwise, my next event, I will be down in Turlock at an event down there with the Universalist Church.
We've done a lot of shows together.
Yeah, we see each other all over the place.
All over the place. We get around.
And he's actually really nice because Joseph is one of the few actual people that does the psychic work that doesn't come over and yell at me for playing the drums and interfering with what he does. In fact, you've actually been right across from me a couple of times. So it's really nice.
I like it. Thank you so much for your time today. This has just been wonderful.
Thank you.
We have a question from a viewer, Chris. Chris wants to know what his spirit guides are trying to tell him.
I'd like to know what my spirit guides are trying to tell me.
Chris, it was great talking to you, and it was great getting that question from you for tonight's show. Thank you so much. It's important to know what our spirit guides are trying to tell us. I've asked my guides, I've asked your guides, let's see what they want to tell you right now for your message on what you need to know. Well, you know, this is very interesting because I want to tell you that they want you to be very active. They want you to not be the hermit. They want you to come out from the cave, be in the sunlight, be in the spotlight. They want you to take control of your life right now. You have willpower crossing you. That's the Chariot card. So they want you to drive that chariot forward. Now's your time. Now, the Chariot card has the dark horse and the white horse, or in my deck, the dark dinosaur and the light dinosaur. And you need both, your dark and light side, to be able to go forward. Now, you're going to be lucky this lifetime, at least that's what they're telling me. And they say lots of good fortune is coming your way and that you're going to be filled with happiness. They say the pain of the last 3 years is gone and you're entering a new good time for yourself. Now, on the love front, you want to postpone that just a little bit and focus on money, business, career at this time. At least that's what they're telling me. Put love off for just a little bit. They say putting love off actually allows you to have the energy to focus on these other areas of your life. Have lots of hope for your future because you have a good future ahead of you. Now, I got to tell you, you have 3 cards of new beginnings in your reading. And so now is the time to create new beginnings, create new starts, create new directions for yourself because you're going to have lots of new opportunities around you. This is not a time to meditate. This is a time to be active, to be moving, physically in action, talking to other people, making things happen, building things, creating things. The time for planning is over. The time for implementation is now for you. They say you're going to have fortune and richness because of your ability to move forward in a passionate and amazing way in your own life using your willpower and physical nature. I want to say to you, you have a good future, especially this next coming year. Honestly, it looks great. You must be someone of a higher vibration to get such a great reading. Thanks for such a great question, Chris.
What my guides are telling me is that you don't listen. Life would be much easier if you would listen to your guides. You talk yourself out of hearing and knowing that you were given a message. You're in a quandary about which one to choose. I'm not sure if that's related to careers or special interests or perhaps something else. You believe that you have a big choice to make. I was told you can have both. They want you to turn off the TV and turn the music off more often. You really don't hear your guides when those are on. You tune them out or drown them out. Let go of negativity, which may involve some guilt or regret about something that has happened. Instead, ask what you have learned from the situation that caused your guilt and regret. Allow. Stop trying to hear your guides. Again, allow. You can ask your guides to turn up the volume, but that means you need to listen and not talk yourself out of what you have heard.
You know, listening to our guides is a challenge, but a beautiful adventure if we're just open to it.
Well, and if we turn down the volume of everything else and actually listen, that's part of Chris's challenge, is that he's not listening. He keeps asking.
Keeps asking and needs to be really active in how he's going to go forward because his guides want him to get it done now.
Well, and again, what the guides told me is that he doesn't have to pick one or the other. He can have both, but he needs to move forward.
We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you want answered, let us know. If you have topics you want us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or email me at joseph@questtarot.com.
You can find me at cgraysonhypnosis.com or email me, cindy@cgraysonhypnosis.com. You can watch this program on Comcast Channel 17 in Sacramento, California. See more at accesssacramento.org and betv.org. And on Comcast Channels 23, 28, and 29 in the San Francisco Bay Area, as well as AT&T U-verse in the state of California. Don't forget to watch our companion show, Paranormal Connections, with host Donna Wilberg.
You can follow us on Facebook, Vimeo, and YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin, Cindy Grayson, or Paranormal Insights. And also watch our new weekly show, The Magic Minute, on Vimeo and YouTube every Wednesday, where you'll learn easy to do everyday magic, because it only takes a moment to make magic. When you watch the video, be sure to click like or subscribe. Please send us your questions and topics,
so we can share our paranormal insights
and answers from beyond the ordinary.